Hello students, today I'll be going through the ACSJ paper 2. Let's dive right into it. Christopher has $63. What is the greatest number of cupcakes can he buy? So one box of 9 cupcakes costs us $25. So one box is $25. In terms of the multiples of 25, the next nearest number to $63 is $50, which is 2 boxes. Now, since 63 is our total, we will take 63 minus away this 50, we will be left with $13. So after we buy these 2 boxes, we are left with $13. One cupcake costs us $3, which means that 13 divided by 3 will give, 13 divided by 3 will give us 4.33 cupcakes. And if we round it off, because we cannot buy 1/3 of a cupcake, it will be 4 cupcakes. Now, what is the greatest number of cupcakes can he buy? It will be 2 boxes of 9 cupcakes. So 2 times 9 plus 4 cupcakes, which gives us 22 cupcakes. This is my answer to question 1. Question 2. The table shows the times taken by 5 robots to complete a maze A, B, C, D, E. Time in second is 4.5, 6.81 and so on and so forth. Which robot was the fastest to complete the race? So we just need to find the shortest time, which is robot C. Robot F completed the same maze. The average time for all 6 robots was 4.73 seconds. And since this is an average, the first thing we need to do is find our total. So 4.73 seconds times 6, because right now we have 6 robots. So 4.73 times 6 will give us 28.38. Now this is the total for 6 robots. The total of the 5 robots, okay, will be 4.5 plus 6.81 plus 3.92 plus 4.12 plus 5.1, and this will give us 24.45 seconds. So to find our time taken for robot F, all we need to do is take the new total minus away the original total. So 28.38 minus 24.45. 28.38 minus 24.45 will give us 3.93 seconds. So therefore, the time taken by robot F is 3.93 seconds. Question 3. Figure 1 is an isosceles triangle with a perimeter of 40 cm. Figure 2 is made up of such isosceles triangles. The perimeter of figure 2 is 112 cm. What is the length of PQ? Okay, so the first thing you can take note of is the perimeter of figure 2 is 112 cm, which is made up of one of these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. It's made up of 8 lines. So 8 lines is 112 cm. So to find one line, it will be 112 divided by 8, which is 14 centimeter. And since the figure 1 parameter is 40 cm, is made up of 2 lines plus PQ, so we need to find 2 lines first. So 2 lines is 14 times 2, which is 28 centimeter. And since the total parameter is 40 cm, 40 minus away 28 will give us the length PQ, which is equal to 12 centimeter. So this is my answer to question 3. Question 4. In the figure, PQRT is a parallelogram. PT is equal to PS, so PT is equal to PS, which is an isosceles triangle, and also equal to SR. So we have another isosceles triangle. And then angle PRS is equal to 35 degrees. Now, we want to find angle SPT, which is this angle over here. Since we know that this angle is 35 degrees, this here will also be 35 degrees since it is an isosceles triangle. After that, we are able to find this angle and then find this angle, and this angle is equal to this angle. After that, we can take 180 minus away these two angles to get our angle SPT. So now we're going to make it into a working. So angle SPR is equal to angle SRP. Okay, this is 35 degree. So to find angle PSR, it is 180 degree minus away 35 degree minus away 35 degree, which is equal to 110 degree. Afterwards, this is 110 degree. So afterwards, we can find angle PST, which is this angle over here. So angle PST is also the same as angle PTS, which is 180 degree minus away 110 degree, which will give us 70 degree. So this angle is 70 and this angle is also 70 degree. Now to find our final answer, SPT is equal to 180 degree minus away 70 degree minus away 70 degree, which will be left with 40 degree. So therefore this angle over here is 40 degrees. So therefore angle SPT is equal to 40 degrees. Okay, next question. Question 5. Corinne saved 20% of her monthly income. In August, her income decreased by 15%. As a result, her savings in August was decreased by $120 compared to her savings in July. So what was her income in July? So to find our new savings, since she saved 20% of her monthly income and her income now dropped by 15%, the new savings will be 20% of this 15%, which is 85%. So 20% times 85% will be left with 17%. So her new savings is 17% of the whole total. So this 70%, we need to find what does this $120 represent. So 20% from our original savings minus away this 17% will give us 3%, and this 3% is $120. Right afterwards, we can use our unitary method to find 1%. So $120 divided by 3 will give us $40. And what was the income in July? We can find 100%, which is $4,000. And this is our answer to question 5. Question 6. The figure below shows a rhombus ABCD. So for this question, I will not be going through in this video. I will just be going through it during class. Okay, question 7. The bar graph shows the number of tour packages Evelyn sold in 5 days. The bars that shows the number of tour packages sold on Thursday and Friday have not been drawn. So these two, we don't have any information. The number of tour packages Evelyn sold on Monday is 15% the total number of packages sold in the 5 days. So now we have a bar graph over here. The first thing we need to do is we need to identify each bar graph represents how many tour packages sold. So here we have 20 and here we have 0. Total number of spaces is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 20 minus 0 divided by 5 will give us 4. So over here, each line will represent 4. Which means Monday sold 24, Tuesday sold 48, and Wednesday sold 52. Now, what is the total number of tour packages Evelyn sold in 5 days? Okay, since that Evelyn sold 15% on Monday, so that means 15% is 24 packages. We can find what is 1% first, which is 24 divided by 15, and then we can find 100% to find the total. So 24 over 15 times 100, and since this is in paper 2, we can just type this whole thing into our calculator, and the answer will lead us to 160 packages. Okay, part B, the ratio of the number of tour packages sold on Thursday to Friday is 3:4. So Thursday to Friday is 3:4. Now, to find out how much they sell in total for Thursday and Friday, we will take the total, which is 160, minus away Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday is not 52. Wednesday is 32. Okay, so 160 minus 24 minus 48 minus 32 will give us 56. Now, this 56 is being represented by the both Thursday and Friday dates, which is 7 units. So 7 units equal to 56. Therefore, 3 units is 24 and 4 units is 32. So from here, we can just draw Thursday using a ruler and pencil. Thursday we have 24 and Friday we have 32, which is the same as Wednesday. There you go. And this is my answer to question 7b. Okay, next question. Question 8. Vinesh drove from Singapore to Malacca at an average speed of 90 km/h. On the return journey, he took the same route and covered 1/3 of the distance in 1 hour. Then he reduced the speed to 70 km/h for the rest of the journey. Vinesh took 4 hours for his return journey. Okay, so the question is, how long did he take to drive from Singapore to Malacca? Now, whenever we face a speed time question, there's 2 things we need to draw. First thing is our DST, distance equal to speed times time. Second thing that we need to draw is our timeline. So this is starting from Singapore and this is ending at Malacca. Now, we have no information from Singapore to Malacca other than the average speed. So most likely we need to find our total distance from Singapore to Malacca. Okay, now on the return journey, he took the same route and covered 1/3 of the distance in 1 hour. So let's say we split this into 3 equal parts. This portion over here is 1 hour. Then he reduced his speed to 70 km/h for the rest of the journey. So that means from here all the way to here, it is 70 km/h. And we also know that this person took 4 hours for the return journey. And since 1 hour is spent on the 1/3 of the distance, this means that over here we'll be left with 3 hours. So the first thing we need to find is our distance from this point all the way to this point, which is 2/3 of the distance. Now, since distance is equal to speed times time, our speed is 70 km/h and our time is 3. Therefore, the distance is 210 km. And 2 units is 210 km. So 1 unit will be 210 divided by 2, which is 105 km. So to find the total of from Singapore to Malacca, it is 3 units. And 3 units is 105 times 3, which is 315 km. Now, the next part is, how long did he take to drive from Singapore to Malacca? We know the average speed is 90 km/h. So to find our time taken will be time is equal to distance, which is 315 over our average speed, which is 90 km/h. So 315 divided by 90 will give us 3.5 hour. And this is our answer to question 8. Question 9. a very common question in your PSLE. A rectangular piece of paper ADCG was folded into the shape as shown. AG is equal to X. Okay, so this is our X that we are going to find later. GF is equal to 12 cm and DE, which is over here, is equal to 3 cm. So whenever you come to this kind of question, the first thing we should do is we should need to draw our line such that it looks exactly like before it was being cut. So let's say, for example, if I cover away CDBE, it looks like this rectangle over here. Okay. Now the next thing is find the perimeter of the rectangular piece of paper ADCG. So we are going to find it before they even fold the paper in terms of X. Okay, so the first thing is, since this is X cm, this is also definitely X centimeter. And since this is 3 centimeter, which means that this portion over here is also 3 centimeter, and here to here is 12 centimeter. So here is also 12 cm. And since this is X is equal to BF, this length over here will be the same as, this length. So therefore, this over here will be X centimeter. So we know that the breadth is X centimeter and the length is 12 plus 3 plus X, which is 15 plus X. So to find our parameter in terms of X will be 2 breadth plus 2 length, which gives us X plus 15 plus X plus 15 plus X. So these are breadth, length. And our final answer will be 30 plus 4x centimeter. This is our final answer. Next one, find the area of the triangle BEF when x is equal to 4 centimeter. So since that this is x cm, which means that this portion over here is also x, and this is also x, and since this is a right angle, here will also be a right angle. So therefore, to find your area of the triangle is half times base times height, which is half times 4 times 4, which will give us 8 cm square. This is our answer to part B. Okay, next question, question 10a. A shop sold electronic devices was having a sale as shown below. First item at 15%, second item at 20% discount. Price of the second item must be equal or lower than the price of the first item. So Mr. Po bought a tablet at $230 and a laptop at $550. So the second item will be the one that must be lower than the price of the second item. So first item 15% discount, which is our laptop, and the second one will be our tablet. So 550 times 100 minus 15% will give us the total value of our laptop after the discount. The next thing is our tablet. So for our tablet, since it's our second item, it will be at 20% discount. So 230 times 100 minus 20 over 20%. So this will give us $184, whereas this will give us $467.50. So how much did he pay for the two items? Just need to add up these two values and you will get the answer, which is $651.50. Moving on to part B, Mr. Chiam bought two identical smartwatches. He received a total discount of $147. So what we have over here is we have the first item, it will be at 85%, and the second item will be at 80%. So the total of this will be 165%. Now, before discount, our value is at 200%. So we have to minus away this 165%, which will give us 35%. Now, this 35% represents the total discount of the two identical smartwatches. So 35% is $147. So to find our price of one smartwatch, we just need to find 100%. Now if the question asking us to find two smartwatches, we will have to find 200%. So 100% will be equal to $420. This is my answer to question 10. Alright, next question. ABCD, EGFC are identical rhombuses. Okay, so rhombuses means that they are all of equal length. Now, the first thing we need to do is we're going to just mark it out so that we can identify later that if there's any isosceles triangle. So in this case, there is already an isosceles triangle. Example, in this triangle over here, EBC. Okay, the next thing is we also know that BHD, okay, BHD is a straight line, and angle CFG is 76 degree. They want us to find angle X. Okay, just let me double check where is angle X. Okay, so after verifying the answer key, question 11, angle X is over here. Okay, now how do we go about this question? Since this is 76 degree, the angle opposite this in this rhombus will also be 76 degree. This is your property of rhombus. Now the next thing is, this angle here will also be 76 degree. So right now, to find angle X, all we need to do is 180 degree minus away 76 degree minus away 76 degree. So 180 minus 76 minus 76 will give us 28 degree, since this is a isosceles triangle. So therefore angle X will be equal to 28 degree. Now part B, find angle Y. So now the next thing we need to find is this angle over here. Now since this angle over here is 76 degree, this angle will be half of 76. So angle DBC is equal to 76 degree divided by 2. So 76 degree divided by 2 will give us 38 degree. So this angle is 38 degree. Now to find this angle over here, we can just take angle BHC equal to 180 minus 38 minus 28 degree. This is our angles in a triangle. So 180 minus 38 minus 28 will give us 114 degree. Now to find angle Y, since this angle over here now is 114 degree, we just have to take 180 minus away 114 to find angle Y. This is angles on a straight line. So angle Y is equal to 180 degree minus 114 degree, which will give us 66 degree. And this is our final answer to part B. Okay, next one, question 12. For question 12 pattern question, I will not be going through here. So I only will go through again during class. At first, tank A was 2 feet filled with water. Andy then poured all the water in tank A into a small container and 2 large identical containers without spilling. The height of all the 3 containers were the same, and all the containers were filled to the brim. What was the volume of water in tank A at first? Now, since tank A was 2/5 filled with water, we need to find the volume of the tank. So the height is also 2/5 of the tank. So 15 times 2/5 will be equal to 6. So which means that this height over here is 6 centimeter. Now to find the volume of the water in tank A at first, it will be length times breadth times height. So 30 times 10 times 6 will give us 1800 cm cube. Now the base area of the small container, sorry, I'm at part B now. The base area of the small container is 60 cm squared. So here is 60 cm squared. And the base area of each large container is 120 cm squared. Okay, find the capacity of the small container. So since this is 60 cm squared and this is 120 cm squared, we can actually split this into 2 equal cuboid. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 cuboids. So to find the capacity of the small container, all we need to do is 1800 being the total volume for the entire 5 cuboid. So 1800 divided by 5 to find the volume of 1 cuboid, which is 360 cm cube. And that is our answer to this question. Now let's move on to question 14. Okay, question 14. Peter designed a logo for a poster as shown. What was the total area of the shaded logo? Okay, so the first thing we need to identify is some semicircles that we can see from here. So you can see that there is a semicircle over here and another semicircle over here, followed by a quadrant and then another semicircle. So once we are able to find this semicircle, and the big quadrant minus away the bigger semicircle in this portion, we will be able to find this shaded area, and then we just need to times 3 and we can get the answer. So first thing, okay, I want to find the area of the big semicircle. So area of big semicircle, this is number 1, is equal to, now area of circle is pi r squared, or pi times radius, depending on which one your school teacher teaches you. Okay, but for this purpose I will be using pi r squared. So area of the semicircle is half of a circle, so half times pi r is being, since our diameter is 14 cm, our radius will be 7 cm, so half times pi times 7 squared, and this will give us half times pi being 22/7 times 7 squared, and this will give us 77 cm squared. Now the next part is we need to find this number 2, the smaller semicircle. So number 2 is area of small semicircle. Okay, so the area of the small semicircle, the radius is, the diameter is 7 cm. So our radius is 3.5. So using the same formula, half times pi times 3.5 squared is equal to half times 22/7 times 3.5 squared, and it will give us 19.25 cm squared. Now to find our number 3, the shaded area, first of all we have to find the quadrant. So area of quadrant is equal to 1/4 of a circle. So 1/4 times pi times, now our radius in this case is 14 centimeter, so 14 square. 1/4 times 22/7 times 14 square will give us 154, but we are not done here. We only managed to get the quadrant for this entire thing, but what we need to minus is this semicircle, and just nice, this semicircle is the same as our number 1, so we can just take 154 minus away 77, and that will give us 154 minus 77 will give us 77 cm square. So now to find the shaded area of just this region over here, we will need to take 77 plus 77 plus 19.25, this whole thing times 3. So 77 plus 77 plus 19.25 times 3 will give us 519.75 cm square. And this is our answer to part A. Okay, next one. What was the parameter of the logo? So in this case, just let me erase this whole thing. Now, to find our parameter of this whole figure, we just need to find this semicircle plus another of this semicircle plus a quadrant plus this small semicircle and its diameter. So 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then after that, we will times 3 again. So to find number 1, it is our circumference of the semicircle. So since the formula for circumference is pi times diameter or 2 pi r, okay, for this case I'll be using 2 pi r. So to find the circumference of number 1 will be 2 pi times radius being 7 cm. Okay, in this case I never times the half because this semicircle over here and this semicircle over here, they have the same length, so ultimately they are just making a full circle. So 2 times 22/7 times 7 will give us 44 cm. Now the next thing is we need to find number 2, which is a quadrant. So number 2 is a quadrant, so 1/4 times 2 pi r, radius being 14 cm. So 1/4 times 2 times 22/7 times 14 will give us 22 centimeter. Afterwards, we can find number 3, which is the small circumference of the semicircle. So number 3 is half times 2 pi radius being 3.5. So half times 22/7 times 2 times 3.5 is equal to 11 centimeter. And then this number 4 is 7 cm. Now all we need to do right now is to find the total of all this and multiply it by 3. So 44 plus 22 plus 11 plus 7, whole thing times 3. And this will give us 252 cm. And this is our answer for question 14. So Tina had a total of 754 pearl necklaces and bead necklaces for sale. After selling twice as many pearl necklaces as bead necklaces, she had 1/3 of the pearl necklaces and 1/4 of the bead necklaces left. Question is asking us to find the total number of pearl and bead necklaces left. Okay, so in this case, it's actually easier to solve it using the model diagram. So after selling twice as many pearl necklaces compared to the bead necklaces, she had 1/3 of her pearl necklaces left. So let's say if we draw another one of these and 1/4 of the bead necklaces left, that means here they sold 3 units and we are left with 1 unit. Then we can just draw everything to have 3 units. So total over here is 754. Now P and B total have 13 units, so therefore 13 units is 754. To find out what is 1 unit, we need to take 754 divided by 13, which is equal to 58. Afterwards, okay, just let me shade. This is what we are left, and this is also what we are left, which is 4 units. So 58 times 4 is equal to 232, and this is my answer to question 15. Alright, so question 16. At the school bookshop, erasers are only sold in packs of 4 and pencils are only sold in packs of 5. So 4 erasers is $1.99, whereas 5 pencils is $2.99. Okay, Mr. Lin spent $139.45 buying some erasers and pencils for Children's Day. He put all the erasers and pencils into bags, so no remainder. The ratio of the number of erasers to number of pencils was 2:3. Okay, so want to find the cost of one bag is how much first. So we have 2 erasers to find and 3 pencils to find. So we can find 1 pencil over here first. So now 4 erasers is $1.99. So therefore 2 erasers is 1.99 divided by 2, which is 0.995. Now for the 5 pencils is $2.99. So we're going to divide by 5 to find 1 pencil, which is 0.598 times 3 pencils, which gives us 1.794. Now the total cost of one bag is 0.995 plus 1.794. 1.794, which is equal to 2.789. Now since we know that the total cost is 139.45, so 139.45 divided by 2.789 will give us the total number of bags. 139.45 divided by 1, which will give us 50 bags. And since each bag has 3 pencils, so 50 times 3 will give us 150 pencils. And that is my working for question 16. Okay, question 17 is an off the remainder question. Okay, so Gary spent 5/8 of his money on 10 identical notebooks and 10 identical files. He then spent 5/6 of his remaining money on the bag. What fraction of Gary's money was spent on the bag? Okay, so to do this question over here, so we have 10 notebooks plus 10 files is 5/8. So he want to spend 5/6 of his remaining money on the bag. So 5/6 of remaining. Okay, sorry, where? This is for one bag. Oh. So 5/6 of remaining. Remaining will be 1 whole minus everything above, which is 5/8. So 5/6 times 1 minus 5/8 is 5/16. Now, since we have 11 bags, so he spent on the bag. So the answer is just 5/16. Next one. Each file costs $4 more than each notebook, and the bag costs $38 more than each notebook. So file and notebook and bag. So file is $4 more than the notebook, and the bag is $38 more than the notebook. Okay, so from here we can see that 10 notebook plus 10 file is 5/8. So 5 notebook plus 5 files will be 5/16. We just divide by 2 and divide by 2. So what this means is the 5 notebook plus the 5 files is actually the same as 1 bag. Okay, so from here, if we label this as x, 5x plus 5x plus 4, because 1 file is x plus 4, is equal to 1x plus 38. Okay, so just let me write down here. File is x plus 4, notebook is x, and the bag is x plus 38. Now from here we just need to solve. 5x plus 20, 5 times x, and 5 times 4 is equal to x plus 38. So 5 plus 5x, this x we need to bring over. Since this x is a positive number and this is plus, when you bring over the time, it will just become negative. So minus x equal to 20. I want to bring over. This 20 is a positive number, so it become a negative 20 plus 38. So here is 9x, and 38 minus 20 is 18. So x is equal to 2. So how much money did Gary left? Okay, now we know that so right now we can solve for each value costs how much. So the bag is actually $40, the notebook is actually $2, and the file is actually $6. From here we can find out how much money had Gary left. Okay, so since he spent 5/16 on the bag, so 5/16 plus the 5/8 for the notebook and the identical file. 5/8. 5/16 plus 5/8 is equal to 15/16. So 15 units is actually you have 10 files and 10 notebooks. So $6 times 10 plus $2 times 10 plus 40. So it's 60 plus 20 plus 40, which is $120. So 15 units is $120 unit. 15 units is $120. 1 unit will be 120 divided by 15, which is equal to $8. So how much money did Gary have left? Gary had left $8. And this is my final answer to question 17. Alright, I've come to the end of this paper 2. If you haven't watched the paper 1, booklet A and booklet B, do watch it under the link below. Alright, bye. Any questions, do leave a comment or go to our socials via the link below. Subscribe for more and see you in the next video. Bye.